accustomed to it as the Director of Racing Australia. I'm privileged today to introduce this session simply because we have a unanimity amongst us in that we all have a passion for the horse. And that drives our involvement in this sport. And I understand V's fame, fortune and passion, but I think the most important ingredient, anyone involved in the thoroughbred racing industry and breeding industry, is passion for the horse. And if you have that, then our game can continue to be a very important and integral part of society, not only in Australia but worldwide. It's a wonderful privilege to be involved in horse racing. I've had the privilege of witnessing Frankel win the Queen Anne Stakes in 2012. If anyone, I'm sure people have seen that amazing animal. I've seen See the Stars win the Arc de Triomphe and Enable win the Arc de Triomphe. I was at Belmont Park, which is not the most salubrious racecourse in the world, but it does host the final leg of the Triple Crown, and I was there when American Pharaoh broke the hoodoo. And what a day that was. It drove passion, there were emotions, it was just a wonderful part of history that I was lucky enough to witness. And then of course, our own great mare in Winx and winning 4 Cox Plates. Who would have ever thought? Who would have ever thought Mackay Deeb or a horse would win 3 Melbourne Cups? It's these moments that bring me to the Chris Waller moment of bringing tears to a grown man's eye, to see these champions grace the turf and make their presence felt on our industry. But with privilege begets an irrevocable commitment. And that irrevocable commitment must start from cradle and must end at grave. But the most important ingredient of our sport, the horse. And I know that everyone in this room has similar sentiment, but what we need to do is educate people beyond our insider group to the simple fact that the horse is paramount. Horse welfare is a highly complex, highly emotive and highly polarising issue. But no matter which way you look at it, it is critical to racing success and its long-term sustainability. Horses are the heroes of racing, and so the industry must do everything it can to safeguard their welfare throughout their lives. What that means, however, is not a straightforward issue. With such rapidly evolving expectations around what constitutes good welfare practices. Opinions differ from vet to vet, from country to country. And with racing becoming increasingly globalised, horses can be subject to varying standards as they move internationally for racing and breeding. Here in Victoria, we've had to implement major policy reform for international runners participating in the Melbourne Cup and our Spring Carnival, to not only ensure that all horses can return home safely, but to preserve what this race means for so many Australians. Excuse me. Racing Victoria's General Manager of Veterinary Sciences, Grace Forbes, played a key role in devising these reforms and will provide insights on the key considerations involved. Research too is at the heart of improving horse health and welfare. By identifying leading causes of illness and injury and implementing preventative measures and treatments, the industry can be more proactive in taking steps to minimise welfare risks. From the Hong Kong Jockey Club's Equine Welfare Research Foundation, Dr. Chris Riggs will look at some of today's key research priorities and what they mean for future horse welfare improvements. One of the things that makes dealing with welfare issues so tricky is that the public's perception does not always align with reality, particularly when the image of an injured animal can be so confronting. But perception is reality. So it will be most interesting to hear from Behaviour Works Australia's Dr. Denise Goodwin, who will dissect the drivers of behaviour and developing targeted behavioural change and how this might affect the equine welfare mindset. The session will also explore the challenging role of effectively demonstrating to the wider public all the good that the industry does to protect the animals we love. While we have taken some big strides in recent years, it is an area the industry could further improve on, particularly through more innovative public engagement and promotion strategies. Hallie Hardy will take you through the immersive tourism experiences provided by Horse Country Inc. in the US, which are successfully being used to better connect retired racehorses with the public. And then finally, we have Josh Gibson. And my other passion in life is Australian rules football. Still involved as chairman of the AFL Coaches Association, but my involvement is minuscule to the magnificent success that Josh has experienced as a footballer. But more importantly now, he hosted Racing Victoria's documentary, Here for the Horses, which many of you would have enjoyed last night, on the making of the film and where other opportunities exist for racing to actively promote its welfare credentials. As you can gather, an evocative subject requires an esteemed and eclectic group of people. And this session promises to be an illuminating one. So on that note, I would like to welcome Grace to the stage.